Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Y'all are great. I'm just wondering what's the party in the hall. Can I go be a part of that? Sounds like fun. Welcome to Sunday morning in Mountain Vista. Always good to stop and take a second, take a deep breath, double check your phone, make sure it's all good, and here we go. There's something happening here. What it is, not exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there, telling me I gotta beware. I think it's time we stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going round. There's battle lines being drawn. Nobody's right if everyone's wrong. Young people speaking their minds, getting so much resistance from behind. I think it's time we stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going round. What a field day for the heat. 1,000 people in the street, singing songs and carrying signs, mostly saying hooray for our side. I think it's time we stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going round. Paranoia strikes deep. Into your life it'll creep. It starts when you're always afraid. Step out of line. Think it's time we stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going round. I think it's time we stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going round.
The Reverend Dr. Ken Torkel McLean, a dear mentor and friend, once told me, never greet your congregation with a good morning. Someone might be having a bad one. And it occurs to me that greeting you all with bad morning to you all might cover many now, if not most, following Tuesday's election. Yet it fails in a similar way that Reverend Ken warned me about. Someone here might actually be having a good morning. Yeah, is that even possible? In the face of the majority of Americans re-electing Donald Trump, that someone here or joining on Zoom, or maybe even watching our recording later, might have awoken this morning and simply witnessed how beautiful today is. That's kind of audacious, isn't it? That someone here spun around with doubt and disbelief, sunk into grief, anguished with anger, hurt and betrayed. Someone here today holding all of that has still come here to add their warmth to this secular faith community and rediscover their hope. That would be bold. To be trembling, afraid of the danger coming for our country, for our elders, for our children. The lives and bodies of so many who are already endangered with injustice and hate, our own lives and our bodies. To be terrified in your bones and to still choose kindness and compassion and love. I mean, WTF, people. Goddess, God, source of many names and always, always in our silence. My welcoming prayer for my people is that unflinchingly, never turning away, that not just one of you, not just a few of you or this section right here, but all of you, everyone has an effing audacious, bold, and unbelievably good morning. Starting right now. Take a look at each other. The beauty of this circle. You can wave if you see somebody you know. And you can wave back if you thought that wave was for you and it wasn't. Because that just keeps it going. Welcome. Welcome, welcome to Mountain Vista Unitarian Universalist. I'm Reverend Matthew. And alongside you, I serve this, our secular faith community, our spiritual home, MVUU. We are Unitarian Universalists. And that means we choose to live in a covenant of our own creation that holds all relationships sacred. And here specifically, we say with love as our guide, we will go into and through the hard times. So we have, so we do, and so we will. And so many of you give yourselves so that we can live into this covenant each week. And this week has been an amazing example. Last Sunday night, Dawn and Sally led us into the wild weather to join in the 35th All Souls procession, that with our ancestors and the spirits of this land, that we would be carried home as a congregation. On this very land that the Thana, Otham, and Pima peoples have never ceded, that is theirs and that they share with us and that we are seeking deeper and deeper relationships with. That on election night, Jane and Conrad, Grace and Joel and Cheryl and John led us playfully to celebrate our culture of democracy with dancing, food, and fellowship. And that the next evening, Chris, our music director, and our choir, with Alex and Dan and Joel and Grace lending their musical talents, led us into and through songs to soothe our aching hearts and remind us we are not alone. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And to all of you who came and participated, thank you. It's in these ways, it's in the way we just carry on everyday congregational life that we've reminded ourselves that we are a people of democracy, that we bring joy, we make connections, we honor our Unitarian Universalist heritage, and we go together into the unknown. Yeah, it's a lot clearer now, post-election. We're beginning to see, to glimpse all that the future holds, to perceive what comes next, and it looks bad. Winners of this election have shown us what to expect. And recent campaigns, they've told us what their plans are. But their plans, their future, doesn't have to be ours. It is good. It is good that we have come here. This is good to be together. We are bringing about a future that is good. In this next reading, and a little bit of random solidarity, Reverend Bethany Russell Lowe over at the UU Church of Tucson have chosen this same reading. We didn't know it, we just happened to be talking about it, that we're going to be lighting our chalice with.
Hello. I'm Maria Manconi, one of the pastoral associates assisting Reverend Matthew this morning. How to Survive the Apocalypse by Reverend Sean Parker Dennison, UU minister. First, learn to listen. Not only for enemies around, corners and hidden places, but for the faithful footsteps of hope and the whisper of resistance. Hone your skills, aim your heart toward kindness, and stockpile second chances. Under the weight of destruction, we will need the stronger shelter of forgiveness and deeper wells that give the sweet water of welcome. We have a place for you. When the world ends, we must not add destruction to destruction, not accept a beggar's bargain to fight death with more death. In order to survive the apocalypse, any apocalypse at all, we have to give up the counterfeit currency of self-sufficiency, the mistaken addiction to competition, the lie that the last to die has somehow survived.
As we found out on Wednesday night, singing together, singing in community, fills and feeds people. So I invite you this morning to stand with us as feels appropriate. 1002 in our teal hymnal, our lovely supplement singing the journey, Comfort Me.
Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Sing with me. Sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Be with me. Be with me, be with me, oh my soul. Be with me, be with me, be with me, oh my soul. Comfort me. Comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul.
Please be seated. We pour water from Sonoran skies, from our travels, from the taps in our homes. It's symbolic of our congregation. And then we drop in stones for our joys and for our sorrows and for everything in between. At times we speak our joys.
This week,
Give me a second. There you go.
this week after the pothole on Wednesday, but some of you may have noticed a little speed bump on Friday, like I did. And that was that you didn't get your newsletter. Anyways, it'll be coming on Monday. And I suspect that has something to do with today's joy. Stephanie Morales, our congregational administrator, brings the joy that her son Paul is at home and healing after being in a car accident on Friday. He was on his way to work when he was T-boned on the passenger side of his car. He was able to walk away, but with a collarbone injury that needed surgery. Stephanie's grateful that he's going to be fine, and she's grateful for all the support she's received from MVUU.
There are other times that we add stones silently for those unnamed joys among us. And of course, we do the same for our sorrows. Now, recently, you know that this ritual has been a little different. We've been changing it up almost every week with the pastoral associates, and today's not going to be any different than that. We're going to invite you to come forward. And if you're feeling numb or confused, drop in your own stone silently. If you're feeling fearful and anxious, put in a stone. If you're enraged and angry, if you're hurt or betrayed or suffering or in pain, we're going to go section by section and offer you just an opportunity to put your stone into the water of our congregation. Let's begin with this group here. If you wish, come forward and just drop in a stone. Have the back row in this group here. If you'd like to come forward and just drop in a stone. come this way and go that direction. Anybody who'd like to put in a stone, come this way and go that direction. Yeah. Come this way. Our pastoral care committee is listening. We invite you to reach out to us. And then we will go with you. And we'll bring along this congregation. Long in our comforting response to any of your sorrows, but in celebration too with the joys that are still happening. As the waters of our congregation hold our sorrows in a communal comfort, we can turn confusion into clarity. We will shift fear into trust. We witness that our grief, the grief that I can see on your faces, is a testament to the depth of your love. And we will gather the power of this anger. And we will fight for the collective liberation of us all. I invite you now to a time of meditation, of breath, of rest, as you are embraced and held here in our secular faith community. Breathe with me. As your body allows, breathe out a little more slowly than you breathe in. Breathe with each other. And breathe with tomorrow. Feel the air coming into your lungs. Feel it moving out. And rest in your breath. Breathe and rest and be assured of your humanity. That right where you are now, in your sorrow, in your joy, in everything that you are in between, that we hold and cherish you in your humanity. Beautiful, imperfect, worthy of love. We hold and care for your humanity together. Breathe and rest and feel our community alongside you. Right now, shoulder to shoulder. Bringing our diversity, our equity, our inclusion into this world as we are guided by love. Breathe and feel your ancestry. Your kin who survived and thrived over generations so that you could be here. Breathe. Rest. Feel your humanity and community and your ancestry. These cannot be taken from you, no matter how hard anyone tries to convince you. These are yours. Gifts to receive, gifts to share. Breathe it in, your ancestry, your community, your humanity, and then rest in all that you are. Rest and be free.
Our Mountain Vista congregation is strong in our sense of belonging. Many have come, connected, and committed to our covenant, and many are coming still. Today, we welcome 2 new members who, by their coming and connecting with us, have chosen to join in the commitment of members. First is Kay Richter. Kay was raised in the vacation land of northern Michigan, where her parents occasionally attended the Congregational Church. To show her parents' attitude about religion, when Kay asked them if she could go through confirmation with friends at age 12, they replied, "You're too young to make a decision about religion." Kay holds a BA from Michigan State in psychology, an MSW from Arizona State in social work, and a law degree from University of Arizona. Her primary work was as a lawyer in estate planning and elder law here in Tucson. Kay and her late husband, Milton Frank, attended this church initially with Reverend Susan Manker-Seal from 1990 until 2009, and then she attended here alone for another 4 years. She has been a participant non-member since 2020. During her life, Kay has been a world traveler, very active in skiing, yoga, bicycling, etc. She has had a partner, Stephen Buckman, for 14 years now. Since retiring, Kay writes poetry and pursues art and music along with her other interests. She has 2 wonderful stepchildren and 2 wonderful children of Stephen's. James Graves was born in Germany, and he has lived in Virginia, Mississippi, Kansas, Kentucky, New York, Massachusetts, Maine, and Libya, Italy, and Belgium. He notes that his father was a member of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. He's starting his 2nd year in Arizona and has spent the last 6 months traveling in Portugal, Spain, California, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, and Canada. James worked 15 years in New York City, then 30 years in Boston in financial services and high-tech marketing and advertising. He's retired and spent about 1 year near Portland and Bangor, Maine. James had 4 brothers, 2 are living, and a sister who has lived in Tucson for 40 years. One of his sons is in San Diego, and one is in Miami. He has many ancestors and relatives in Madison, Virginia. James was raised a Lutheran and had minimal church attendance for the last 50 years. He was a regular visitor for 2 months at Bangor, Maine Unitarian Church, and says that some of his best friends are Unitarians. James enjoys listening to and making music. He also likes gardening, biking, swimming, hiking, kayaking, Latin dance, aerobics, and European travel. He's interested in environmental issues, politics, reading fiction and nonfiction, and PBS and NPR. James studied English literature and then business at the University of Virginia, and he thanks everyone for the warm welcome during his visits to MVUU over his 6 months in Tucson.
So I want to invite Kay to turn on her screen from Pine Top. Hello, Kay. Good to see you. And Aaron, if you would join me over here. Yeah, right here. Yeah. That's good too. We're framing it up well, I think. Today we celebrate as you both join Mountain Vista Unitarian Universalist Congregation. Membership represents a promise that all members, new and long-standing, make to covenant here among ourselves and out to the world. As members, you all promise each other to be in intentional relationship and covenanted community together. And so James and Kay, I know that you're ready to join in our covenant, and so I want to invite you to speak the words that you have been given aloud. And we'll let Kay begin, and James will join her as soon as she starts. Kay, if you would start us off.
I enter this community with hope and possibility in my heart. My membership today is a pledge to participate in and support this community. I pledge to deepen my own spiritual and ethical life and show up and return to our relationships. I do this by offering my gifts of time, talent, and treasure to this community and its mission in times of togetherness and separation. I covenant to dedicate myself to the spirit of love that flows through this community. I seek welcome as I join you today in our shared days to come.
Members of MVUU here in person and online, I want to invite you to speak these words aloud as they appear on the slides. So give us a second. Can you read those? Okay. We welcome you as we once welcomed. We seek to be open and inclusive. We respect your dignity, your ideas, and your vision, in times when it is easy and in times when it is difficult. We seek to be supportive, not only when you reach out to us, encourage us, but also when you need us to reach out to you. We ask you to risk showing us who you are, where you hurt, and where you are growing. In return, we ask that you recognize our humanity. We will not always live up to our ideals. When we fall short, we invite you to stay in relationship with us and help us more fully live into our commitment to love. Having been welcomed by your peers, now it's time for you to sign our membership book, if you would. Your name marks your choice to take responsibility for our community, our mission of open-hearted engagement, courageous love, and inspiring transformation. In here. And then arrow.
President of the board, I confirm that they have entered into membership of this congregation. Our congregation is more than the building, more than a minister. It is all of us. We rely on all of us to continue our free and responsible search for truth and meaning. In honor of that journey, we would like to offer you these gifts. A gift certificate to the Unitarian Universalist Association's online bookstore, which is fantastic. We hope you find something there that nourishes you at this time on your path. And the talent and time of MVUU offers you one of our very own poetry monographs, and a rose reflecting the beauty we see in each of you.
Thank you, everyone. Again, welcome. As we welcome you and you to Covenant today, we begin again afresh. Go ahead and have a seat. We renew our mission statement, building an open-hearted, welcoming community where we work together in covenant to transform ourselves and our world through love. We recommit ourselves to our purpose, engage, love, transform. And in a moment, we will sing our congregation's covenant, our promise, as we hold our relationships sacred. There's so much that we can do in this world, and I've witnessed how James and Kay, you have done this with your individual gifts and power and skills, and that you've come here to share them among us. And yet we know there is so much that we cannot do alone. Together, through our combined experiences, learning from and teaching one another, we rediscover community. And we find that goal possible, that liberation, for each of us and for all of us. Today, Mountain Vista Unitarian Universalist begins again. And in this way, we bless one another. May it be so. Let us sing our covenant song.
With love as our guide, we covenant. Welcome the stranger, encourage one another to honor diversity and ask questions lovingly. With love as our guide, we covenant. To seek understanding, to listen together, trusting in all of us when our hearts beat differently. With love in our hearts we covenant to keep faith and remain as we begin again and again to light our chalice fire. To this we aspire as we begin again to light our chalice fire. To this we aspire. With love as our guide we covenant to welcome the stranger, encourage one another to honor diversity and ask questions lovingly. With love as our guide we covenant to seek understanding, to listen together, trusting in all of us, our hearts beat differently. With love in our hearts we covenant to keep faith and remain as we begin again to light our chalice fire. To this we aspire as we begin again to light our chalice fire. To this we aspire.
In Between by Reverend Kate R. Walker. In between, liminal, that space where we wait between moments, events, results, action, no action. To stand on the threshold, waiting for something to end and something new to arrive, a pause in the rumble of time. Awareness claims us, alert, a shadow of something different.
In between invitation and acceptance. In between symptom and diagnosis. In between send and receipt of inquiry and question. In between love given and love received.
Liminality, a letting go, entering into confusion, ambiguity and disorientation, a ritual begun. Pause. Look back at what once was. Look forward into what becomes. Identity sheds a layer, reaches into something uncomfortable to wear.
in between the lighting of the match and the kindling of the oil, in between choosing of text and the reading of words, in between voices and notes carried through the air to ears to hear, in between creation thrusts ever forward.
Social hierarchies may disassemble and structures may fall. Communities may revolt or tempt trust. Tradition may falter or creativity crashes forward. Leaders may step down or take charge. The people may choose or refuse.
In between, storm predicted, the horizon beckons. In between, a theology of process reminds us to step back. In between, where minutiae and galaxies intermingle with microbes and mysteries. In between, liminal, the space where we wait. Look, listen, feel, breathe. We are in between. A time and a space when and where everything is up in the air. We are in the liminal. Well, at least that's what I've come to understand by listening to many of you this week. You have trusted me with so much. Your broken hearts, your planning minds, your weary bodies, and your so heavy spirits. Well, thank you is all I can say. It's not enough for all that you've shared. In our many conversations and through texts and emails and phone calls, I have heard your individual threads beginning to weave in and out, forming a larger pattern. We are at an end, but not yet at a beginning. We have left, but we haven't arrived. We are on a threshold, away from the past and not to the future. And this is liminal time. This is liminal space. And it's uncomfortable. In addition to everything you are already experiencing, everything you're already thinking and feeling, that exhaustion that is in your limbs in this moment and the weight of your spirit, we're in between, up in the air. And my friends, it sucks. But damn, it's necessary. The liminal is the moment between inhaling and exhaling. It's the pause that comes just after you breathe enough to fill your lungs before you exhale. And so it's necessary. But if you pause in that moment, if you hold on between inhale and exhale, and the moment becomes difficult, stressful, even more taxing on top of everything else going on. And this is where we are, holding our breath, up in the air, waiting. After the election this week, you shared with me your despair. You shared with me your analysis of what happened, even your anticipation of what you believe is to come. You've told me how hard it is just to get out of bed. And in the face of the gross cruelty, bigotry, hate, and harassment and threats for women, people of color, their bodies, and our way of life, I have witnessed how heavy your spirits have become. And somehow, unbelievably, boldly, effing audaciously, you have begun to tell me over and over and over that between the endings and the beginnings, the leaving and the arriving, the past and the future, with everything up in the air, we get to decide where we come down. We get to decide where we come down. Late this last week, on a call with over 300 faith leaders, many different theologies were present, beautiful diversity of backgrounds, and so much despair. Anaya Epting, the executive director of Move On and their civic action program, she gathered us up. And she said, we are going to block and break and bridge and build. Block the hurt and the suffering, protecting the communities who have always been at risk and now are even more. Break the extreme hold the right wing has on our families and our friends and our neighbors. Bridge the gap with people across the aisle. People who are suffering so badly in this economy, in our society, and here in our very community that they would vote to destroy democracy. And then build a whole new future with everybody involved. And while I love the alliteration, I wouldn't have paid attention if I didn't hear in block, break, bridge, build what you have been telling me this week. Block the hurt, break the hate, bridge the divide, build our future. And you've also said, not yet, not now. We are still up in the air, holding our breath in between. But we're there together, and it will come to an end. In that utter discomfort of the liminal, there is a power in our not yet landing. It will come to an end. We can't hold our breath forever. And there is power in this between time and between space. It's the place that gives us the pause, and we get to choose where we land. Because what is coming is bad, but we are not. What is coming is the end of things as we've known them, but for a lot of folks, they weren't that great anyways. And so we get to make a new beginning. I've been listening and I've been learning, and I have been taking advantage of that liminal space up in the air, and I'm going to fight. I'm going to learn what that alliteration really means. To block and to break and to bridge and to build. Not like some kind of hero. At the end of the world in an apocalypse movie, I may be angry and furious, but I am not Mad Max. Instead of a solo adventure where might makes right, I'm listening and I'm hoping, and I'm working, and I'm struggling, and I'm creating with you. Because we are what comes next. We get to choose. And we will choose what comes next. And we will make it so with our actions and with our love. Amen.
It's always difficult choosing a hymn to sing, especially on a day like today. But honestly, this one was fairly easy. Number 1028, again in the Teal book. Fire of Commitment. Would you please rise and join us? And here you want this, Joel.
Sing it like you mean it. From the light of days remembered burns a beacon bright and clear, guiding hands and hearts and spirits into faith set free from fear. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion need to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the stories of our living brings along both brave and free, calling pilgrims still to witness to the life of liberty. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion need to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the dreams of youthful vision comes a new prophetic voice, which demands a deeper justice built by our courageous choice. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion need to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. Amen.
Our annual theme this year is Don't Fear the Future. Not because there isn't plenty to be afraid of. There is so much fear, we will not ignore it. And we refuse to act from it. Instead, we act from our mission, engaging, loving, and transforming the future. We do this in many ways, generously giving of our time, talent, and treasure. Each month, we select a woven basket partner, an organization that's doing amazing things and bringing our values to life. We take a collection each week in the woven basket for this partner. You'll find it right next to the wooden bowl as you leave our sanctuary and begin fellowship together. All of November then, we make an offering for Emerge, Center Against Domestic Abuse. Emerge is bold. They say, we believe together we can build a community where every individual lives free from abuse. Since 1975, we have been providing shelter and intervention services, trying to hear and help those whose lives were being ravaged and disrupted by violence and abuse. But along the way, we realized that until we begin to address the root causes of violence in our community, we are only putting a Band-Aid on the problem. While having support services available is critical for individuals and families experiencing abuse, we know that responding to the abuse will not stop it in the future. It's time for our community to come together and to act to end abuse and violence of all types. You support their work by putting something in the woven basket, just as you support the work of our congregation by putting something in the wooden bowl. All of your gifts are gratefully received.
Howdy, y'all. The Fall Festival is fast approaching and we need your help. We want to make it a day filled with laughter, fun, and community, so we're looking for volunteers to help with games, setup, and activities. Your time can bring joy to so many. If you can't volunteer, consider donating. We need supplies, decorations, and treats for the kids. Every contribution, big or small, helps. Let's give our kids a festival day to remember.
And what are you excited to go to our fall festival?
Scan these QR codes or talk to Stacy to find out what you can do. See you there.
We could use a few more folks to help with the Fall Festival next Saturday. Even more, we need you to come and bring your friends for an afternoon of fun. Our goal is that 30 folks from MVUU come and that at least 2 new families who have never been here before join us. You can make this a reality and our first Fall Festival a success. Love remains the center is our reading, and if everyone would please rise and join hands together as we share love with each other and extinguish our chalice flame. We extinguish the flame to remind us love is the center. As we explore and rest, engage and heal, love remains the center. When all we can see is cold ashes, love remains.